She placed me behind a pillar, at her sister's wedding, the spot where the waiters parked the used trays. I remember standing there, holding my breath, wondering if it was a mistake. It wasn't. She'd planned it. Every seat was deliberate, every smile rehearsed. And mine, the husband, wasn't meant to be seen. She was radiant, laughing too loudly, as if her happiness depended on who was watching. I watched, invisible. Her family pretended not to see me, as if my presence stained their perfect picture. Then, halfway through the dinner, a woman I didn't recognize sat beside me. Dark dress, sharp eyes, calm voice. She leaned in and whispered, "Just follow my lead and pretend you're my date." Before I could ask who she was, she smiled toward the main table. My wife froze mid-laughter. That's when I knew the moment had arrived. 3 years earlier, I'd met my wife at that same hotel, same ballroom. She'd spilled coffee on my tie and apologized with a kind of nervous grace that made me forgive instantly. She was clever, ambitious, and charming, dangerously so. We built a life together on mutual plans, or so I thought. A business, a home, a dream we designed in whispers and late nights. But love, I learned, can be the most elegant disguise for ambition. It began with small things. Her phone turned face down, work trips that lasted longer than scheduled, laughter that didn't reach her eyes. I ignored them at first. I wanted to believe she was just tired, that marriage, like everything else, went through phases. Then one night, I picked up her ringing phone by accident. The message preview flashed before I could stop myself. "We'll announce it after your sister's wedding. He won't even matter by then." I stared at that sentence until it blurred. He won't even matter. I didn't rage, I didn't shout, I just put her phone back and went for a drive. That night, I learned how quiet betrayal could be. Revenge, I decided, should never be loud. It should look like coincidence. I started small. I pulled back from our joint accounts, transferred funds into a private trust under the name of a company I'd created months before she ever met me. I let her think she controlled everything, the finances, the image, the narrative. She was the center of her own performance. I was just the lighting technician, making sure the shadows fell where they should. I found out who the man was, a lawyer she'd met through her company's expansion. He was married, older, and discreet, or so he believed. I made introductions, quietly. A few well-placed leaks, a few whispers to the right ears. The lawyer's wife found out long before my wife realized anyone knew. By the time I filed for separation, publicly, with undisclosed reasons, his career was already circling the drain. But my wife didn't know that, not yet. She thought she was winning. She thought the wedding would be her stage to debut her new life. So when the invitations came, I accepted without hesitation. I let her seat me behind that pillar. Let her feel powerful, untouchable. And I waited. The woman who sat beside me wasn't random. Her name was Claire, the lawyer's wife. The one who had everything to lose until I gave her everything to gain. We'd met 2 months prior, over coffee and shared humiliation. I told her everything. The affair, the lies, the wedding. She didn't cry. She planned. Together, we built a quiet alliance of revenge, wrapped in civility and timing. At the wedding, when Claire stood to speak, the room stilled. Even the band stopped mid-song. She smiled, graceful and composed. "I'd like to make a toast," she began, "to family and to truth. 2 things often claimed but rarely lived." My wife's face tightened. Her sister looked confused. Claire continued, "Some of us have worn masks so long we've forgotten what our real faces look like. But tonight, I'd like to thank those who taught me what deception really costs." Then she looked directly at my wife. The pause was deliberate, the silence surgical. "My husband sends his apologies," she said softly. "He couldn't make it. He's too busy explaining to his board why he's been suspended. pending investigation. Gasps, murmurs. My wife's smile faltered, eyes darting to me. I held her gaze. Calm, steady. She finally understood. I didn't move when she stormed out, didn't follow. The music resumed, the waiters carried on. Life has a way of ignoring broken people. Later, as guests whispered and families exchanged forced smiles, I stepped outside. Claire joined me, silent. We didn't need to speak. Some victories don't require applause. That night, I signed the final divorce papers. I left them on her desk, next to the same phone she used to text him. Inside, I added one line. "You seated me behind a pillar so no one would see me." Turns out, the best place to watch a performance is from the shadows. I walked away before dawn. Sometimes justice isn't loud. It's the sound of silence right before the curtain falls.